Welcome to my channel Digital Challenge Academy with Rimanshu.
Welcome back to the Explainer for day 45. So yesterday we laid some pretty serious groundwork, right? We integrated our official digital transcripts using DigiLocker and really explored the diverse capabilities of the Umang app. But today we are conquering the exact systems that actually drive the Indian digital economy. And honestly, more importantly for us, we're figuring out how to secure those maximum lab marks on your exam. We are zeroing in entirely on digital financial tools. I am super thrilled to guide you through this, because mastering this, it literally means mastering the absolute core of modern transactional security. Let's jump right in. Okay, so how do you actually guarantee full marks on your digital finance practical? Let's tackle this by shifting our mindset for a second. We need to think exactly like the NILET examiner. What do they want to see mapped out on your screen? You see, just executing a transaction, that's one thing. But proving you understand the underlying operational logic, that is what actually gets you the points. We have to look at this from the grading desk's perspective. They aren't just checking if a payment went through, they are meticulously checking if you understand the actual anatomy of that payment.
Here is our examiner's blueprint for today. 1. Winning the NILET practical. 2. Mapping UPI transaction flows. 3. Navigating AEPS and USSD. And 4. The full marks documentation formula.
Part 1. Winning the NILET practical and understanding the examiner's blueprint. The absolute crucial point here is that examiners are meticulously grading your structural documentation. Let's be real, these grading reviewers can be incredibly strict. If you just write down something like, "I scanned the code and paid," you are gonna lose points. No way around it. They want to see the underlying architecture. Clean logic architecture, that equals maximum lab marks. They want to see that you totally grasp the flow of data from point A to point B, the security checks happening right in between, and that precise moment of settlement.
Moving on to Part 2, Mapping UPI Transaction Flows. Let's break down Assignment 1. Now, the Unified Payments Interface, or UPI, is basically the crown jewel of modern digital finance, and mapping it correctly is a massive point scorer for you. To get those marks, you absolutely must start by outlining the creation of a unique VPA, or Virtual Payment Address. This is the absolute cornerstone of the whole transaction validation process. You need to explain to the examiner that the VPA acts as a secure alias. It masks your actual bank account number from the merchant. It's what allows users to transact safely without exposing sensitive banking details. It really serves as the anchor for the entire consumer-to-merchant flow. And this right here brilliantly illustrates exactly what examiners look for to separate, the average student from the top score. Can you clearly differentiate a basic static QR code from a dynamic QR matrix? So a static code is just a fixed destination. It's kind of like a printed address on a building. But a dynamic QR matrix, that is uniquely generated for a specific transaction, and it's inherently amount-bound. Showing you know that difference demonstrates a really deep understanding of transactional security constraints. Okay, to lock in full credit for this first assignment, you cannot forget the back end. You must explicitly state on your lab paper that the NPCI clearinghouse, the National Payments Corporation of India, is the central entity settling these funds instantly behind the scenes. It's basically the silent engine of the whole UPI ecosystem. Mentioning the NPCI proves to the reviewer that you understand the entire life cycle of the data packet, not just the fancy front-end user interface.
All right, Section 3. Navigating AEPS and USSD. Let's take a look at these offline inclusion tools.
So, the NILET exam is specifically designed to test your knowledge of systems that serve everyone, not just folks with high-speed internet and smartphones. That is exactly why lab questions will regularly demand that you know how to outline the exact 99 hashtag USSD signaling path for simple, feature-phone text inputs. Unstructured supplementary service data is actually really fascinating because it uses the basic voice network signaling channels to transmit financial queries. When you document this, make sure you note that it completely bypasses the need for an active data connection. That makes it an incredibly robust tool for financial inclusion.
Similarly, when we're dealing with AEPS, that's the Aadhaar Enabled Payment System, you need to know the exact field requirements. For an AEPS cash withdrawal step that executes without a plastic debit card, you gotta list 3 strict requirements. First, the explicit Aadhaar number. Second, the bank name, which is specifically identified via the IIN, or Issuer Identification Number. And third, biometric validation, typically a thumbprint scan on a micro ATM. Missing literally any of these in your written documentation will definitely cost you marks.
And finally, Section 4, the full marks documentation formula for writing structural transaction locks.
Listen up, because this three-step formula is your golden ticket. When you are documenting literally any digital payment path on your practical, you must categorize your phases exactly like this. Step 1 is the initiation phase. This is where you detail the initial request and that vital gateway handshake. Step 2 is the authentication phase. Here, you must explicitly mention multi-factor verification. Call out those MPIN or OTP prompts specifically. And finally, Step 3 is the confirmation phase, which is where the settlement notification is generated. Don't just write a messy paragraph. Break it down into these 3 labeled phases. This exact level of structural, descriptive detail is the formula to guarantee full marks from the reviewer.
Now, I just want to pause here for a second. Mastering this digital banking logic, it isn't just about passing the NILET exam. It is absolutely essential for your career. Any modern professional tasked with managing automated enterprise accounts or handling secure, large-scale payroll systems, they rely on this exact structural logic every single day. You are literally learning the foundation of enterprise financial architecture right now. Pretty cool, right?
To truly cement this, you've got to practice. I highly encourage you to download the complete banking blueprint from the sources linked below and run through these workflows today. Get really comfortable writing out those 3 phases: initiation, authentication, confirmation. Because tomorrow, we are taking the training wheels off. We're launching into the high-stakes Day 46 full-length mock practical papers. You'll absolutely need this clean logic architecture ready to go.
But before we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a crucial piece of homework to test your expanding banking knowledge. We've covered UPI, we've looked at AEPS, but what happens when you need to route funds interbank, instantly, 24/7? Well, that relies on IMPS. But to be a true architect, you need to know what that acronym actually stands for. Look it up, lock it in, and I will see you tomorrow as we tackle those mock papers together. Keep studying and keep that structural logic clean.